Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For today, or I should say for tonight, it is midnight here. I would like to make this first lesson for Vietnamese. I am in a Vietnamese mood right now. Pretty much every night I do Vietnamese around this time. So I'm going to make a first lesson here, and the first thing we're going to talk about is the tones. All right. Now, before I get into it, I should say that you should mention if you're an experienced learner of Mandarin or Far Eastern language, any Far Eastern language that um, uses tones, you will find Vietnamese. You won't find it that difficult. Now, I must say that if you have studied Mandarin, you probably will find that the pronunciation is a bit more complicated than Mandarin, and I totally agree with that. It's a little bit more complicated than Chinese, but spending a little time listening and reading out loud, doing that, you'll become accustomed to it in a short period of time. Um, what else? And that's it. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. If you're learning Mandarin and you're considering learning Vietnamese, I think it will be a great choice. You'll find a lot of similarities amongst these two languages. So let's get right to it. So Vietnamese tones, as you know or you don't know, Vietnamese has 6 tones. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'll probably talk a little bit about Mandarin and Hmong here. I might throw some of that in here just to show you some examples. But we know Mandarin. Normally they would say Mandarin has 4 tones, but actually it has 5 tones. And I was totally unaware of this myself. I didn't know that there were 5 tones until I started learning the Bopomofo system, which is used in Taiwan. They really have 5 tones, but they just put a strong emphasis on 4 tones. And I'm going to show you that here shortly. So, yeah, let's begin with the first word here. We have ma. Let me read through the tones first. So we have ma, 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 ma. Again, ma, 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 ma. All right. So the first one, ma, means ghost. Okay, and if you have experience with Mandarin, you notice that ma sounds like the first tone. It's basically the first tone. That's all it is. Ma. Okay. The second one is ma. That means but or nevertheless. Ma. I think this word was borrowed from French too. Or no, I'm sorry, not one of the it's got to be because I know in French they say man and then ma is Italian. So I think this must be a borrowed word because they also have another way of saying but in Vietnamese. So ma, 4th tone. If you learn Mandarin, you notice that it even has the mark for the 4th tone. It's pretty much the same tone. The next one, ma, ma. That means horse. Okay. But this tone doesn't exist in Mandarin. Ma, ma. All right. And then the next one, ma, ma. Ma, that means grave or tomb. Now, this doesn't exist in Mandarin either, but if you study Hmong, you will notice that this tone is the same as the G sound in Hmong, okay? So, like, you guys probably, what do you mean G? Just a sample here. If I say, because Hmong, all their tones are marked at the end of the word, okay? So like Jean doesn't have a tone at the end, but this word here, ja, ja. So Jean ja, Jean ja, Jean ja. That means better. Like if I say Gu sa hai lu Hmong Jean ja, like I want to speak Hmong better, Jean ja. So you notice that zog is that G is the same tone as this here in Vietnamese. Ma, same tone. Ja. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Ma, ma. That means cheek. Okay. And if you study Mandarin, you notice that that's the 2nd tone, same tone. And then the last one, ma, ma. That means rice or seedling. rice seedling. Okay. Now, this tone does exist in Mandarin. Now, like I said before, if you learn like just the standard Mandarin, like just, mainland Chinese Mandarin, Pinyin, you probably didn't learn this, because I know I didn't when I first started. But this ma, that it's a glottal stop, and it's the same as the fifth tone in Mandarin. Like, if many of you probably don't know this, but when you use a bopomorphal system, they actually have a mark for the fifth tone, and it looks just like this here. Okay. For example, let me see, just like ba ba, ba ba. This word here means father in Mandarin. Ba ba. That first ba is first tone, but that second one that's the fifth tone. Ba ba, ba ba. Okay, that's the fifth tone. When you try to type ba ba on the keyboard for bopomorphal, if you don't use that fifth tone marker, which is the dot, the character won't come out. Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know that that's something that I didn't really know about when I first started learning Mandarin. But that fifth tone ma, it exists in Mandarin. Okay, so in Vietnamese it means rice seedling, or that ma. Okay, so those are the tones. Now I'm gonna come. Let's see. I'm gonna come down here and go through some sentences with you guys. So the first word here is gua, gua, gua. And that's dealing with possession, okay? And that's the falling, rising tone we talked about here. We said that it doesn't exist in Mandarin, but it does in Hmong, the G, okay? So here's an example sentence here. So let's see here. Vợ của tôi nói với tôi rằng hôm nay chúng tôi sẽ đi ăn cơm đi. So, vợ của tôi nói với tôi rằng hôm nay chúng tôi sẽ đi ăn cơm đi. So, vợ is wife. Quả, as we just said, that quả is dealing with possession. So when you say vợ của tôi, that means my wife. Okay, so vợ của tôi, my wife. Now, I should also mention that you can actually omit this qua. You don't necessarily need it here. Why? Because vợ is someone close. It can be a close relative or a close friend. Whenever you have those, you don't necessarily need to use qua. It's not wrong if you use it, but you can drop it. You may even see people say vợ tôi or bạn tôi, my wife or my friend, without this qua. So it's similar to Chinese, actually. If you, like, they even omit, they don't, when you say my wife, they really don't add the, like, 我的老婆, 我的老婆, they will say 我老婆, 我老婆, they drop off the the because it's a close, someone close to you. So it's the same concept here in Vietnamese. So vợ của tôi, my wife, nói với tôi rằng. So nói is to say, and then với is with, tôi, I, rằng is that. So my wife, literally it says my wife say with me that. Okay, that's the literal translation, but the real translation would be, the other translation I should say, my wife told me that. My wife told me that hôm nay, my wife told me that today, chúng tôi, like us, chúng tôi sẽ, like us or we, so we sẽ, will đi ăn cơm đi, we will go and eat, like we go eat. So sẽ đi is go, and ăn is eat, and then cơm is food, đi, go. So we will go eat food, go, literal translation. So my wife told me that today we will go and eat. All right, this is the first sentence. All right, moving on. The second one is tôi. Tôi. That means me or I, and that's the high level tone. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right to it. So, anh có hiểu là mặc dù tôi là người Mỹ, nên tôi rất thích học ngôn ngữ khác không? So, anh có hiểu là mặc dù tôi là người Mỹ, nên tôi rất thích học ngôn ngữ khác không? So, I put this in parentheses, the call and the không, because this is dealing with grammar. You need these two together. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but it's asking a question, okay? Whenever you ask a question, you start, well, call has to go at somewhere in the beginning, and then không goes at the end, okay? I will make some more examples, but like I said, I'll probably talk more about this in the in the second lesson. So an, okay, so you an có hiểu, do like you understand, like do you? So an có hiểu is understand that. Mặc dù is although, tôi là người Mỹ, I'm an American, nên, but, tôi rất thích học. I really like học. Ngôn ngữ, like languages. Ngôn ngữ khác, other languages. Ngôn ngữ khác không? No. So you understand that you understand that although I'm an American, but I really like learning other languages. Now this neng here with the although, in English we normally don't say that. We don't say although blah blah blah, but in languages such as Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Vietnamese, or any other dialect of Chinese. I'm not saying Vietnamese is a dialect of Chinese, by the way. I'm just saying any Chinese language, they use this. They will use although at the somewhere at the beginning, and then the second clause. I think that's what they call it as far as grammar. The nung, they throw in but in English we'll just say, well, although I'm an American, I really like to learn other languages, or something like that. Okay, so that's that. Moving on. All right, so the next one is la. That means, now that is like is or that, depending on the context. Because you just saw that up here I had although, so what is it? It was mặc dù tôi là người Mỹ. Although I am, no, sorry. Right here, this is the first la. Oops, I don't want to use that part. See, we had two la's here, but they're different. That first la here the first la, it means that, like you understand that. And then the second la here it means is or am. Okay, I am an American. So back to this spot, la. In this case, it means is, the way we're going to use it in this sentence. So, all right, and that's the low falling level tone. Low falling level tone. So, hy vọng anh ấy là người Việt, vì tôi vẫn còn muốn thực hành thêm tiếng Việt. Hy vọng anh ấy là anh ấy là người Việt, vì tôi vẫn còn muốn thực hành thêm tiếng Việt. So, translation, I hope he's Vietnamese, because I still want to practice more Vietnamese. So, hy vọng, that means hope. That's from Chinese. That's the same word pretty much. Hy vọng. They say hy vọng in Chinese. Okay, hy vọng. Hy vọng. So, hope. Anh ấy means he. Anh ấy là is, there's our word, keyword here. Là người Việt is Vietnamese. Vì, because. Tôi vẫn còn. So I still, vẫn còn is still. You can actually omit this vẫn and just use kon. It will still mean still. Okay, just to let you know that. You may see that used very often. Okay, muốn is want. Thực hành means practice. Thêm Tem, that means more. Tiếng Việt, in Vietnamese. So hy vọng. So I hope he's Vietnamese. I hope he's Vietnamese because I want to practice more Vietnamese. Okay, I could have added oh, I don't have my keyboard on. Just a second. Okay, just in case I know somebody may say this like, oh, you add Toy. So I could have added Toy here. Okay, I put it in. Oops, I put it in parentheses because you can actually, if you omit it, it's pretty explain. I mean, you know that it's people know that it's you talking. So hy vọng anh ấy là người Việt. So I hope that he's a Vietnamese. All right, moving on. Okay, so the next one is bat, bat, and that's the sharp falling tone with a heavy glottal stop. Bat, which is fifth tone in Mandarin Chinese. All right. Now this bat, it has two meanings. It means friend or it can mean you, depending on who you're talking with. If it's someone younger, if it's someone close to you, you're a friend or like a relative, you can use bat. But if they're older than you, you don't know them, you can't use bat. Like you can't do that. So bat. Let me see. What do I have here? All right, so let's look at our example sentence. So khi tôi có nhiều thì giờ sẽ đi lang thang với bạn bè. Khi tôi có nhiều thì giờ sẽ đi lang thang với bạn bè. So khi, when I have a lot of time, I will go and wander around with my friends. When I have a lot of time, I will go and wander around with my friends. So khi is when. So khi tôi, I có, have nhiều. Nhiều means a lot. Nhiều thì giờ. Thì giờ means time, like free time. Sẽ is the future tense, will. Sẽ đi, I will go. Lang thang, lang thang, that is like wander, like wandering around. Với is with, and bạn, friend. Bè, bạn bè, friends. Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This bad, I learned this recently. I was reading a text and I noticed that they use bad. They use bad a lot with the bot. So I'm assuming that this is like making it plural. If you speak Vietnamese, if you're native, you're familiar with this, correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding from the context, it means friends. I tried to look this up and I didn't get the translations were off. They just didn't make any sense in that particular context. So just let me know if that means something else. But from my understanding, it means friends. Okay. All right. In this second sentence, I use a different meaning because that one here, bạn is friends. So if I say bạn là người Mỹ phải không? Bạn là người Mỹ phải không? Or you're American, aren't you? Phải không? Aren't you? So bạn is you, and then la is người Mỹ, American. So bạn là người Mỹ phải không? No, like aren't you not? Like you're not. Okay, so bạn, that's bạn, sharp falling tone with a heavy glottal stop. All right, what do we have? Is this the last one? Oh no, it's not. It's the second to last. All right, so this next one is da. It's a rising broken tone with a glottal stop. Da. Now, what does it mean? This marks the past tense. Okay, this marks. Now, actually, there are two different meanings. This marks the past tense, something done in the past, or you have to do something. Or no, sorry, not. You do something first before doing something else. Like if I say, well, I want to go to Vietnam, but first I need to learn Vietnamese. And this dot will go at the end of the sentence. That's another meaning. Okay, so let's look at our example sentence. So, thực sự, okay, thực sự, tôi sắp đi lang thang với bạn bè. nên chị ấy muốn ăn một cái gì đó đã. Thực sự, ok, thực sự, tôi sắp đi lang thang với bạn bè. Nên chị ấy muốn ăn một cái gì đó đã. Excuse me. Một cái gì đó đã. So, thực sự, that means actually. Tôi sắp đi lang thang với bạn bè. So I will go wandering around with my friends. Nên chị ấy, but she, nên chị ấy muốn ăn một cái gì đó đã. But she wants to eat something first. So actually, I will go wandering with friends, but she wants to eat something first. All right. So thực sự is actually tôi sắp. Oops. Tôi sắp đi. So sắp is the future. This is another way of indicating the future, like sab before. So sắp đi. Go lang thang, which we just had. That means wandering around. Với bạn bè, with friends. Nên, but chị ấy, that means she. Muốn, want. Ăn, that means to eat. Một cái gì, that goes together. Một cái gì, that means something. Một cái gì đó. Oh, sorry. Một cái gì đó. This whole thing here means something. Một cái gì đó đã. So this da here that means is first, but she wants to eat something first. Okay, so actually I'm going to go wander with friends, but she wants to eat something first. Một cái gì đó đã. All right, rising broken tone with a glottal stop. All right, last one is thing. Okay, I put the E here because just to let you see the tone. It's hard to see that rising tone here. Maybe it's just like that. Maybe it's that way because I'm using the notepad, but that's what this E is here for. So that's second, that's rising tone. So that thing means language, like tiếng Việt, Vietnamese. Okay. All right, let's look at the example sentence. It's a rising tone again. So, thực sự tôi thấy tiếng Việt hay nên khó học. Vì thế tôi sẽ bắt đầu học ngôn ngữ khác. Ngôn ngữ khác. So thực sự tôi thấy tiếng Việt hay nên khó học. Vì thế tôi sẽ bắt đầu học ngôn ngữ khác. So actually, I see Vietnamese as interesting. I see it as being interesting, but it's difficult to learn. Therefore, I will begin to learn another language or a different language or other languages. So thực sự, which we had before, thực sự means actually. So thực sự, actually, tôi thấy tiếng Việt hay. So I see Vietnamese as interesting. So I see tôi thấy tiếng Việt hay. So I see Vietnamese as interesting. Nên, but khó học. Khó is difficult, and then hawk is study. So it's difficult to or learn, study or learn. Difficult to learn, which in this case, vì thế, that means therefore. Vì thế, tôi sẽ, I will, bắt đầu means to begin. Bắt đầu học, begin to learn or study. Ngôn ngữ khác. So other languages. Ngôn ngữ is the language, and then khác is other or others or another. Okay. So there you have it. That's our lesson 1 for Vietnamese. So, I didn't mean to touch that over there. Oh, okay, back over here. So that's lesson 1 for Vietnamese. Let me know if you're a native speaker or you speak this language. I'm very open to corrections or, some suggestions or whatever. So feel free to comment and make those corrections. All right. So that is it for lesson 1. and lesson 2 will be out soon. So yeah, and it might be at this around the same time because, like I said, I do Vietnamese pretty much every day at around the same time. I watch some videos and I listen to my Aussie meal. I do some other studying. So when I bring out these Vietnamese videos, it may be late, midnight around this time. So, all right. Thanks for viewing and look forward to any corrections or comments.